not very good with technology. um, so I'm Raina Arcadia, and I am coffee requires, or I guess he goes by Sagril. I'm his wife, and I will be mainly reading when I stream until I get my new laptop. Maybe I'll play some video games with them. Tonight I will be reading The Little Mermaid by Hans Christian Andersen. And yeah, so let me go ahead and take a little drink real quick of my tea to wet my throat, and then we can begin. Okay, so is the music okay, or is it too loud? Okay. So, far out in the ocean, the water is as blue as the petals of the finest cornflower, and as transparent as the purest glass. But in its very deep, much deeper indeed than any anchor chain can fathom, many steeples would have to be piled on top of the other in order to reach from the bottom to the surface of the water. Down there live the sea folk. You must not think that there is nothing but the bare white sand at the bottom of the ocean. No, on the contrary, there grow the most peculiar trees and plants, having such pliable trunks, stalks, and leaves that they stir at even the slightest movement of the water, as if they were alive. All the big and small fishes glide through their branches as birds fly through the trees. Where the ocean is deepest stands the Sea King's castle. Its walls are built of coral, and the high arched windows are cut out of the clearest amber. The roof is covered all over with shells, which open and close according as the current of the water sets. It looks most beautiful, for each of them is filled with pearls of priceless value. A single one of them would be a fit ornament for a queen's diadem. The Sea King had been a widower for many years, and his aged mother was keeping house for him. She was a clever woman, but she was very proud of her noble birth. Therefore, she wore 12 oysters on her tail, while other distinguished sea folk were only allowed to wear 6. In every other respect, she deserved unmingled praise, especially for her tender care of the sea princesses, her granddaughters. They were 6 in number, and the youngest is the most beautiful of all. Her skin was as clear and delicate as the petals of a rose, her eyes as blue as the sea in its greatest depth, but she also, like the others, had no legs. Her body ended in a fishtail. All day long, the princesses used to play about in the spacious halls of the castle, where flowers blossomed from the walls. When the large amber windows were thrown open, the fishes came swimming to the princesses, as the swallows sometimes fly in when we open the windows. The fishes were so tame that they ate out of their hands, and suffered the princesses to stroke them. In front of the castle was a large garden, in which the bright red and dark blue flowers were growing. The fruit glittered like gold, and the flowers looked like flames of fire. Their stalks and leaves were continually moving. The ground was covered with the finest sand. Hi, Shiki. As blue as the flame of sulfur. A peculiar blue light was shed over everything. One would rather have imagined oneself to be high up in the air, having above and below the blue sky, than the bottom of the sea. When the sea was calm, one could see the sun. It looked like an immense purple flower from which the light streamed forth in all directions.
Brought to you by our friends at Espolon Tequila. Changing the world requires hard choices.
Each of the little princesses had her own place in the garden, where she was allowed to dig and to plant at her pleasure. One gave her her flower bed, the shape of a whale. Another preferred to form it like a little mermaid. But the youngest made hers as round as the sun, and her flowers were also of the purple hue of the sun. She was a peculiar child, always quiet and sensitive, while her sisters thought a great deal of all sorts of curious objects, which they received from wrecked ships. She only loved her purple flowers, and a beautiful figure representing a boy carved out of clear white marble, which had come from some wreck to the bottom of the sea. She had planted a red weeping willow close by the marble figure, which throve well, and was hanging over it with its fresh branches reaching down to the blue sand and casting a violet-colored shadow. Like the branches, this shadow was continually moving, and it gave one the impression as if the top and the roots of the tree were playing together and trying to kiss each other. The Little Mermaid liked most of all to hear stories about mankind above, and the grandmother had to tell her all she knew about the ships, towns, and animals, and she was very much surprised to hear that on earth the flowers were fragrant, the sea flowers had no smell, and that the woods were green, and the fishes which once saw there on the trees would sing beautifully and delight everyone. The grandmother called the little birds fishes, otherwise her granddaughters would not have understood her, as they had never seen a bird. When you are 15 years old, said the grandmother, you will be allowed to rise up to the surface of the sea and sit on the cliffs in the moonlight, where the big ships will be sailing by, and you will also see the woods and towns. In the following year, the eldest princess would complete her 15th year. The other sisters were each 1 year younger than the other. The youngest, therefore, had to wait fully 5 years before she could go up from the bottom of the sea to look at the earth above. But each promised to tell her sisters what she liked best on her first visit, for their grandmother, they thought, did not tell them enough. There were so many things on which they had wished to be informed. None of them, however, longed so much to go up as the youngest, who had to wait the longest time, and was always so quiet and pensive. Many a night she stood at the open window and looked up through the dark blue water, watching the fishes as they splashed in the water with their fins and tails. She could see the moon and the stars. They quite looked pale, but appeared through the water much larger than we see them. When something like a dark cloud passed over her and concealed them for a while, she knew it was either a whale or a ship with many human beings, who had no idea what a lovely little mermaid was standing below, stretching out her white hands towards the keel of the ship. The eldest princess now completed her 15th year and was allowed to rise up. When she came back, she had to tell about hundreds of things. The greatest pleasure, she said, was to lie in the moonlight on the sandbank when the sea was calm and look at the near coast and the large town where the lights sparkled like many hundreds of stars, to hear the music and noise caused by the clamor of carriages and human voices, to see many church steeples and to listen to the ringing of the bells. The youngest sister listened attentively to all this, and when she again at night stood at the open window and looked up through the dark blue water, she thought of a great town with all its bustle and noise, and imagined she heard the ringing of the bells in the depth of the sea. In the following year, the second sister's turn came to rise up to the surface of the sea and to swim whither she pleased. She came up just as the sun was setting, and this aspect she considered the most beautiful of all she saw. The whole sky looked like gold, and she could not find words to describe the beautiful clouds. Purple and violet, they were sailing over her head, but on the surface of the water and in the clouds vanished. The year after, the third sister went up. She was the boldest of all and swam up the mouth of a broad river. She saw beautiful green hills covered with vines. Strongholds and castles peeped out of the splendid woods. She heard the birds sing, and the sun was shining so warmly that she had oft to dive down and cool her burning face. In a little creek, she found a troop of human children playing. While they were quite naked and splashed in the water, she wished to play with them, but they ran away terrified. Then a little black animal, a dog, came. She had never seen one before, and barked so dreadfully at her that she was frightened and hurried back as fast as she could to the open sea. But she could never forget the stately woods, the green hills, and the nice children who could swim, although they had no fishtails. The fourth sister was not so daring. She remained out in the open sea and declared that it was most pleasant to stay. There, she said, one could look around many miles, and the sky appeared to one like an immense glass globe. She had also seen ships, but only from a great distance. They looked to her like seagulls. The playful dolphins, she said, threw somersaults, while the big whales spouted up the seawater through their nostrils, as if many hundred fountains were playing all around her. Now the fifth sister's turn came, and as her birthday was in winter, she saw something different from her sisters on her first visit. The sea looked quite green. Enormous icebergs were floating around her. Every one of them was like pearl, she said, although they were much higher than the church steeples built by men. They had the most peculiar shapes and glittered like diamonds. She had seated herself on one of the highest, and while the wind was playing with her hair, she noticed how the ships were tossed about. Towards the evening, the sky became covered with black clouds. It lightened and thundered, and the big ice blocks reflected the flashes of lightning while they were tossed up by the roaring sea. The sailors reefed all their sails, for they were terrified and anxious, but she was sitting quietly on the floating iceberg and watching how the flashes of lightning descended zigzag into the foaming sea. The first time one of the sisters came to the surface, all the new and beautiful things charmed her, but now, being as grown-up girls allowed to rise whenever they pleased, all this became indifferent to them, and after a month they declared it was best down below in their own home. On many night, the 5 sisters would rise to the surface of the water arm in arm, in a row, and sing, for they had beautiful voices, much finer than any human being ever has, and when a storm was approaching, and they thought that some ships might be wrecked, they swam in front of them, singing of the beautiful things at the bottom of the sea, and bidding the people not to be afraid, but come down. The people, however, did not understand them, and mistook their singing for the noise of the wind. They never saw the treasures below, for when the ship went down, they were drowned, and only arrived dead at the Sea King's castle. When her sisters thus went up,
a better breakfast with a better biscuit.
Wendy's breakfast biscuit, just $1.
So get a Wendy's bacon or sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit for just $1 each.
Limited time only. Participating Wendy's offer only applies to bacon or sausage, egg, and cheese biscuits. Limit 5 qualifying items per transaction and per person per day. Not valid in a combo.
I think we need to figure out how to stop the ads. When her sisters thus went up arm in arm, the youngest princess used to stand alone and follow them with her eyes. Then she oft felt as if she must cry, but mermaids have no tears, therefore they suffer much more than we do. We probably should pay for it, hun. Oh, that I were already 15 years old. She said, I know I shall love the world above and the people that dwell in it very much. At last, she was 15. You are now grown up, said the grandmother, the old dowager queen, to her. Now let me adorn you like your sisters. She placed a wreath of white lilies on her head, the petals of the flowers, being half pearls, and in order to show her high rank, the old lady caused 8 oysters to be fixed on her granddaughter's tail. "They hurt me, Granny," said the little mermaid. "Never mind that, my child. Pride must suffer pain," replied the old lady. The little princess would have gladly taken off all her ornaments and the heavy wreath. Her purple flowers would have suited her much better, but she could not offend her grandmother. "Farewell," she said, and rose up as lightly as a bubble. The sun had just set when she lifted her head out of the water, but the clouds were still colored like purple and gold. The evening stars sparkled beautifully through the rose-tinted atmosphere. The air was mild and fresh, and the sea perfectly calm. There was a big ship with 3 masts lying before her. Only one sail was set, as not a breath of air was stirring. The sailors were sitting about on deck and in the rigging. There were music and dancing on board, and when it became dark, many hundreds of colored lamps were lit, and it looked as if the flags of all nations were floating in the air. The little mermaid swam up close to the cabin windows, and when the waves lifted her up, she could see many well-dressed people through the clear panes. The most beautiful of them was a young prince with large black eyes. He certainly seemed not older than 16, but it was his birthday, and that was the cause of all this rejoicing. The sailors were dancing on deck, and when the young prince stepped out of the cabin door, hundreds of rockets were thrown into the air, and became for some moments as bright as day. The little mermaid was frightened and dived under the water, but soon she lifted up her head again, and then it seemed to her as if all the stars were falling down from the sky. She had never seen such a display of fireworks. Large Catherine wheels turned rapidly round, splendid fiery fishes flew through the air, and all was reflected by the bright, calm sea. On the ship, it was so light that one could distinctly see everything, even the smallest rope, and the young prince was so beautiful. He shook hands with people and smiled graciously while the music sounded dreamily through the starry night. It became very late, but the little mermaid could not turn her eyes away from the ship and the beautiful prince. The colored lamps were extinguished no more rockets were sent up nor cannons fired off, but the sea deep below was a strange murmuring and humming, while the little mermaid was rocking on the waves and looking into the cabin. Soon the wind began to blow, one sail after another was furled, and the waves rose up high. Flashes of lightning were seen in the distance. A terrible storm was approaching. Then all the sails were reefed. A large ship in its rapid course was tossed about like a nutshell by the waves, which rose as high as mountains, as if they would roll over the top of the masts. The ship dived like a swan down between the waves, and then carried up again by them to a great height. The little mermaid thought it was a pleasant journey. Not so the sailors. The ship creaked and groaned. Her strong planks were bending under the weight of the heavy waves which entered into her. The main mast was broken like a reed, and the ship lay over on her side, and the water rushed over her. The little mermaid then perceived that the crew was in danger. She herself had to be careful, lest the posts and planks floating about on the water might hurt her. For moments it was so dark that one could distinguish nothing, but when it lightened, everything was visible. The little mermaid was looking out for the prince. She saw him sink down into the depths when the ship broke up. She was very pleased, for now she thought he would come down to her, but soon she remembered that men cannot live in the water, and that he would arrive dead at her father's castle. No, he must not die. Heedless of the beams and planks floating on the water, she dived down to the bottom and came up again in search of the prince. At last she found him. His strength was failing him. He was no longer able to swim in the storm-tossed sea. His arms and legs became powerless. His beautiful eyes closed. He would surely have died had not the little mermaid come to his assistance. She held up his head and let the waves drift them where they would. Next morning the sun had abated, but not a plank was visible of the ship anywhere. The sun rose purple and radiant out of the water, and seemed to impart new life to the prince's cheeks. His eyes, however, remained closed. The mermaid kissed his beautiful forehead, stroked back his wet hair. He looked to her very much like the white marble figure in her little garden at home. She kissed him again and again, and wished that he were alive. Now she had before her eyes the dry land, where high mountains towered into the clouds, where the snow was glittering on their summits and looking like swans resting there. Down on the coast were magnificent green woods, and quite in the foreground stood a church or a convent. She did not know which, but at any rate it was a building. Lemon and orange trees were growing in the garden. The high palms stood before the gate. The sea formed a little bay here and was quite calm, although very deep. She swam straight to the cliff where the fine white sand had been washed ashore, and put him down, taking special care that his head was raised up to the warm sunshine. Then all the bells began to ring in the large white building, and many young girls passed through the garden. The little mermaid swam farther out, hid herself behind some rocks, covered her hair and breast with sea foam, lest anyone might see her little face, and watched to see who would come to the poor prince. After a while, a young girl came to the spot where the prince was laying. At first, she seemed very frightened, but she soon recovered herself and called some people. The little mermaid saw that the prince came back to life and smiled at all who stood around him. But at her, he did not smile. He little knew that she had saved him. She was very sad, and when they had taken him into the large building, she dived down and so returned to her father's castle. She had always been silent and pensive. Now she was still more so. Her sisters asked her what she had seen when she went up for the first time, but she told them nothing. Many a morning and many an evening she returned to the spot where she had left the prince. She saw how the fruit in the garden became ripe and was gathered, and how the snow melted on the high mountains, but she never caught sight of the prince, and each time she returned home she was more mournful than before. Her only consolation was to sit in her little garden and put her arms around the marble figure which resembled the prince. She no longer looked at her flowers. Her garden became wilderness. The plants strangled over the path and twined their long stalks and leaves around the trunks and branches of the trees, so that it became quite dark and gloomy. At last she could bear it no longer, and confided her troubles to one of her sisters, who of course told the others. These, and a few other mermaids, who mentioned it confidentially to their intimate friends, were the only people who knew it in the secret. One of them knew the prince, and could tell them where his kingdom was. She also had witnessed the festival on board the ship. "Come, dear sister," said the other princesses, and arm in arm, in a long row, they rose up to the spot where the prince's castle stood. It was built of bright yellow stone and had broad marble staircases, one of which reached down right to the sea. Magnificent gilt cupolas surmounted the roofs, and in the colonnades running all around the building stood lifelike marble statues. Through the clear panes in the high window could be seen splendid halls, where costly silk curtains and beautiful tapestries hung, and the wall was covered with paintings so exquisite that it was a pleasure to look at them. In the center of the largest hall was a fountain played, and its jets rose as high as the glass cupola in the ceiling, through which the sun shined upon the water and the beautiful plants growing in the great basin. Now she knew where he dwelt, and near there she passed many an evening and many a night on the water. She swam much closer to the shore than any of the others would have ventured. Nay, she even went up to the narrow canal under the magnificent marble balcony, which threw a large shadow on the canal on the water. Here she sat and gazed at the young prince, who thought that he was quite alone in the moonlight. Often she saw him sailing in a stately boat decorated with flags, and with music on board. She listened from behind the green rushes, and when the wind caught her long silver-white veil, and people noticed it, they imagined it was a swan opening its wings. Many a time at night, when the fishermen were upon the sea with torches, she heard them say many good things about the prince, and she was glad that she had saved his life when he was drifting half dead upon the waves. She remembered how his head had rested on her bosom, and how fervently she had kissed him, but he knew nothing about it, and did not even dream of her. Her love for mankind grew from day to day, and she longed more and more to be able to live among them, for their world seemed to her so much larger than hers. They could cross the sea in large ships and ascend mountains towering into clouds. The lands which they possessed, both woods and fields, stretched farther than her eyes could reach. There were still so many things on which she wished to have information, and her sisters could not answer all her questions. Therefore, she asked her grandmother, who knew the upper world very well, and appropriately styled it the countries above the sea. "If human beings are not drowned," asked the little mermaid, "can they live forever? Do they not die as we do down in the sea?" "Yes," replied the old lady, "they also die, and their life is even shorter than ours. We sometimes live to be 300 years old, but when we cease to exist, here we are turned into foam on the surface of the water, and have not even a grave in the depth of the sea among those we love. We never live again. Our souls are not immortal. We are like the green seaweed, which, when once severed from its root, can never grow again. Men, on the other hand, have a soul which lives forever after the body has become dust. It rises through the sky up to the shining stars. As we rise out of the sea and behold all the countries of the earth, so they rise to unknowing glorious regions which we shall never see." "Why have we not also an immortal soul?" asked the little mermaid, sorrowfully. "I would gladly give all the years I have yet to live if I could be a human being for only one day, and to have the hope of seeing that marvelous country above the sky." "You must not dream of that," replied the old lady. "We are much happier and better off than mankind above."
We're out of food. Great. Luckily, Instacart helps me get groceries delivered in as fast as an hour. Plenty of time to cook an in-law worthy meal. Now, what to make? Chicken parm. Perfect. Download the Instacart app or visit instacart.com to get free delivery on your first order using the code 22groceries. Now the only thing to worry about is dinner conversation. Offer valid for a limited time. Minimum order $10. Delivery subject to availability. Additional terms apply.
"Then I shall die and drift on the sea as foam, never hearing the music of the waves, or seeing the beautiful flowers and the red sun. Is there not anything I can do in order to obtain an immortal soul?" "No," said the grandmother. "Only if a man would love you so much that you would be dearer to him than father or mother, if he could cling with all his heart and all his love to you, and let the priest place his right hand onto yours with the promise to be faithful to you here and to eternity, then his soul would flow over into your body, and you would receive a share of the happiness of mankind. He would give you a soul and yet keep his own, but that can never happen. What is beautiful here below, your fishtail, they consider ugly on earth. They do not know any better. Up there, one must have 2 clumsy limbs, which they call legs, in order to be beautiful." The little mermaid sighed and looked at her fishtail mournfully. "Let us be merry," said the old lady. "Let us dance and make the best of the 300 years of our life. That is truly quite enough. Afterwards, repose will be more pleasant. Tonight we shall have a court ball. Such a splendid sight is never seen on earth. The walls and the ceiling of the large ballroom were thick of thick transparent glass. Several hundred enormous shells, purple and bright green, stood at each side in long rows, filled with blue fire, which lit up the whole room and shined through the walls, so that the sea outside was quite illuminated. One could see countless fishes of all sizes swimming against the glass walls. The scales of some gleamed with purple, others glittered like silver and gold. A broad stream ran through the middle of the ballroom, upon which the sea folks, both men and women, danced to the music of their own sweet songs. Human beings have not such beautiful voices. The Little Mermaid sang best of all, and the whole court applauded with fins and tails. For a moment, she felt a joy in her heart at the thought that she possessed the most beautiful voice of all the living on earth or in the sea. But soon her mind returned to the world above. She could not forget the beautiful prince, nor cease grieving that she did not possess an immortal soul like his. Therefore she stole out of her father's castle, and while within the others enjoyed songs and merriment, she sat sorrowfully in her little garden. Then she heard a bugle sound through the water and thought, surely now he is sailing above. He who fills my mind, and into whose hands I should like to entrust my fate. I will do all in order to obtain him and an immortal soul. While my sisters are dancing in my father's castle, I will go to the sea witch, whom I have always feared so much. Perhaps she can advise and help me. Then the Little Mermaid left her garden and went out to the roaring whirlpools where the witch dwelt. She had never gone that way before. No flowers, no seaweed even, was growing there. Only bare, gray, sandy soil surrounded the whirlpools, where the water rushed round like millweeds and drew everything it got hold of down into the depths. She had to pass right through these dreadful whirlpools in order to reach the witch's territory. For a good part of the way, the road led her over warm, bubbling mud. This the witch called her peat moor. Behind this her house stood, in a strange wood, for all the trees and bushes were polyps, half animals and half plants. They looked like snakes with many hundred heads, growing out of the ground. All the branches were slimy arms with fingers like supple worms. Every limb was moving from the root to the highest branch. All they could seize out of the sea, they clutched at and held fast, never letting it go. The Little Mermaid stopped timidly in front of them. Her heart was beating with fear. She nearly turned back again, but then she thought of the prince and the immortal soul and regained her courage. She twisted her long flowing hair around her head, lest the polyps might seize it. She crossed her hands upon her breast and shot through the water like a fish, right past the dreadful polyps which stretched out their supple arms and fingers after her. She saw that each of them had seized something and held it tightly with hundreds of little arms. The polyps held in their arms white skeletons of people who had perished at the sea and had sunk into the depth, the oars of ships, the chests, skeletons of land animals, and the Little Mermaid whom they had caught and strangled. Or a Little Mermaid whom they had caught and strangled. This latter was the most dreadful sight to the little princess. Then she came to a big, marshy place in the wood, where large, fat water snakes were rolling about and showing their ugly, light yellow bodies. In the middle of this place stood a house, built with white bones of shipwrecked people. There the sea witch sat, letting a toad eat out of her mouth as we should feed a little canary with sugar. The ugly, fat water snakes she called her little chickens. Yeah, bro, you ain't kidding. And allowed them to crawl all over her. I know very well what you want, said the sea witch. It is silly of you, but you shall have your way. You will become wretchedly unhappy, my beautiful princess. You wish to get rid of your fishtail and have 2 limbs instead, which men use for walking, and the young prince may fall in love with you, and you may gain him and an immortal soul." Thus saying, the old witch laughed loud and hideously, so that the toads and snakes fell to the ground, where they wiggled about. "You are just in good time," said the witch. "If you had come tomorrow after sunrise, I should not have been able to help you for a whole year. I will prepare you a drink, and you must swim ashore before the sun rises. Sit down and drink it. Then your tail will disappear and shrink together into what mankind calls legs, but it will hurt you, as if a sharp sword pierced you. Every man who sees you will say that you are the most beautiful girl he has ever seen. You will keep your gracefulness, and no dancer will be able to move as lightly as you, but at each step you take you will feel as though you trod on a sharp knife, and as if your blood must flow. If you are ready to suffer all this, I will help you." "Yes," said the little mermaid, with a trembling voice, as she thought of the prince and of the immortal soul. "But remember," said the witch, "if you have once received a human form, you can never become a mermaid again. You will never be able to return again to your sisters and to your father's side. If you fail to gain the prince's love, so that he forgets for your sake, father and mother cling to you with body and soul, and makes the priest join your hands, that you become man and wife, you will not obtain an immortal soul. On the first morning after he has wedded another, your heart will break, and you will become foam on the water." "I will have it," said the little mermaid, and turned as pale as death. "But you must pay me," said the witch. "It is not a little that I ask. You have the most beautiful voice of all who live at the bottom of the sea. You may think you can bewitch him with it, but this voice you must give me. I will have the best thing you possess in exchange for my costly drink, for I must give you my own blood, that the drink may be strong enough, and the cutting as the 2-edged sword." "If you take my voice," said the little mermaid, what is left to me?" "Your fine figure," said the witch, "your gracefulness, and your speaking eyes. With these, you may easily capture a human heart. Now, have you lost your courage? Put out your little tongue, that I may cut off in payment, and I will give you the most wonderful drink." "Do it," said the little mermaid, and the witch placed her pot on the fire and prepared the draught. "Cleanliness is a good thing," she said, and scoured the kettle with snakes which she had tied into a bundle. Then she pricked herself in the breast and let her black blood drop onto it. The steam rose up in the strangest shapes. Anyone who could have seen it would have been frightened to death. Every moment the witch threw new things into the pot, and when it boiled, the sound was like the weeping of a crocodile. At last the drink was ready, and looked like the clearest water. "There it is," said the witch, and she cut the little mermaid's tongue off, so now she was dumb, and could neither sing nor speak. "If the polyps should seize you when you go back through my wood," said the witch, "you have only to throw 1 drop of this fluid over them, and their arms and fingers will break into 1,000 pieces." But the little mermaid had no need of it. The polyps shrunk back in fear at the sight of the sparkling drink, which shined in her hand like a glittering star. Thus she passed quickly through the wood and the marsh and the whirling whirlpools. She could see her father's castle. The torches in the ballroom were all extinguished. They were all asleep. She dared not go to them. Now she was dumb and on point of leaving them forever. She felt as though her little heart would break. She stole into the garden, took a blossom from each of her sister's flower beds, kissed her hands 1,000 times towards the castle, and rose up through the dark blue sea. The sun had not yet risen when she reached the prince's castle and went up the magnificent marble steps. The moon was shining more brightly than usual. The little mermaid took the burning draught and felt as though a 2-edged sword pierced her tender body. She fainted and lay there as if dead. When the sun rose out of the sea, she awoke and felt a sharp pain, but just before her stood the beautiful young prince. He fixed his black eyes upon her, and so she cast hers down, and noticed her fishtail had disappeared, and that she had, instead, 2 of the prettiest feet any girl could wish for. As she had no clothes, she wrapped herself in her long hair. The prince asked her who she was and where she came from. She looked at him sweetly and yet mournfully with her dark blue eyes, for she was unable to speak. Then he took her by the hand and led her into the castle. Every step she took, she felt, as the witch had told her in advance, as if she trod upon needles and knives, but she suffered it willingly, and stepped as lightly as a soap bubble at the prince's side, who, with all the others, admired her graceful movements. They gave her splendid dresses, all silk and muslin, to put on, and she was the most beautiful of all of the women in the castle. But she was mute, and could neither sing nor speak. Lovely slaves, dressed in silk and gold, came to sing before the prince and his royal parents. One sang better than all the rest, and the prince clapped his hands and smiled at her. Then the Little Mermaid became sorrowful. She knew that had she been able to sing much more sweetly, and thought, oh, if he only knew that in order to be with him, I have sacrificed my voice forever.
Visit Instacart.com to get $20 off your first order using the code 20groceries. Now the only thing to worry about is dinner conversation. Offer valid for a limited time. Minimum order $35. Delivery subject to availability. Additional terms apply.
Then the slaves danced graceful dances to the loveliest music, and the Little Mermaid lifted her beautiful white arms, balanced herself on tiptoe, and glided, dancing, over the floor. None of them could equal her. At every movement, her beauty became still more apparent, and her eyes spoke more deeply to the heart of the songs than the slaves. All were charmed, especially the prince, who called her his little foundling. She danced again and again, although she felt, whenever her feet touched the ground, as though she trod upon sharp knives. The prince wished her always to remain with him, and gave her permission to sleep on a velvet cushion before his door. He had her dressed like a page, that she might accompany him on horseback. They rode through the fragrant woods, where the green boughs touched their shoulders, and the birds sang in the fresh foliage. She climbed with the prince to the summits of the high mountains, and although her tender feet bled so much that even others could see it, she smiled and followed him until they saw the clouds sailing beneath their feet, like a flight of birds traveling to foreign countries. At home in the prince's castle, when the others slept at night, she went out to the broad marble staircase. It was cooling for her burning feet to stand in the cold seawater, and then she thought of those below in the deep. One night, her sisters came up arm in arm. They sang mournfully as they floated on the water. She beckoned to them, and they recognized her and told her how much she had grieved them. After this, she saw them every night, and once she also saw her old grandmother, who had not come up to the surface for many, many years, and the Sea King with his crown on his head. They stretched out their hands towards her, but they did not venture so close to land as her sisters. The prince cared more for her from day to day. He loved her as one would love a dear, good child, but he never had the least thought of marrying her, and yet she had become his wife before she could obtain an immortal soul. Or she had to become his wife before she could obtain an immortal soul. Otherwise, she would turn into foam on the sea the morning after his wedding. "Don't you love me most of all?" the mermaid's eyes seemed to say when the prince took her into his arms and kissed her beautiful forehead. "Yes, I care most for you," he said, "for you have the best heart of them all. You are the most devoted to me, and resemble a young girl whom I once saw, but whom I shall certainly not find again. I was on board a ship which was wrecked. The waves washed me ashore near a sacred temple where several young girls officiated. The youngest of them found me on the beach and saved my life. I only saw her twice. She would be the only girl in the world I could love. But you are like her, and you almost effaced her likeness from my heart. She belongs to the sacred temple, and therefore my good fortune has sent you to me. Let us never separate. Alas, he does not know that I saved his life, thought the little mermaid. I carried him across the sea towards the wood where the temple stands. I was sitting behind the foam, looking to see if anyone would come to him. I saw the beautiful girl whom he loves better than me. She sighed deeply, for she could not weep. The girl belongs to the sacred temple, he has said. She will never come out into the world. They will never meet again. But I am near him and see him every day. I will care for him, love him, and sacrifice my life for him. But soon the rumor spread that the prince was to marry the beautiful daughter of a neighboring king, and that was why they were equipping a magnificent ship. They say the prince is traveling to see the neighboring king's country, but in reality, he goes to see his daughter. A large suite is to accompany him. The little mermaid shook her head and smiled. She knew the prince's thoughts much better than the others. I must travel, he had said to her. I must go see the beautiful princess, for my parents wish it, but they will not compel me to marry her. I cannot love her. She is not like the beautiful girl in the temple, whom you resemble. Should I one day select a bride, I prefer you, my dumb foundling with the eloquent eyes. And he kissed her ruby lips, and played with her long tresses, and placed his head on her bosom, so that she began to dream of human happiness and an immortal soul. You are not afraid of the sea, my dumb child? He said to her, when they were standing on the stately ship that was to take him to the neighboring king's country. He told her of the storm and of the calm, of the strange fishes in the deep, and of the marvelous things divers had seen there. She smiled at his words, for who knew more about the things at the bottom of the sea than she did? In the moonlight, when all were asleep, except the man at the wheel, she sat on board, gazing down into the clear water. Then she imagined she saw her father's castle, and her grandmother with her silver crown on her head, looking up through the violent currents at the ship's keel. Her sisters came up to the surface, looked mournfully at her, and wrung their white hands. She beckoned to them, smiled, and wished to tell them she was comfortable and happy, but a sailor boy approached her, and her sisters dived under, so that he thought the white objects he had seen were foam on the surface of the water. The next morning, the ship arrived in the harbor of the neighboring king's splendid city. All the church bells were merrily pealing. The trumpets were sounding from the high towers, while the soldiers paraded, the colors flying and bayonets glittering. Every day, another festivity took place. Balls and entertainments followed one another, but the princess had not yet to come. They said she was being educated in a sacred temple far away, where she was learning every royal virtue. At last she arrived. The little mermaid was anxious to see her beauty, and did not fail to acknowledge it when she saw her. She had never seen a lovelier being. Her complexion was clear and delicate, and behind dark lashes smiled a pair of dark blue, faithful-looking eyes. You are she who saved me when I was lying like a dead body on the beach, said the prince. He pressed his blushing bride to his heart. I am too happy, he said to the little mermaid. My greatest hopes have been realized. You will be glad to hear of my happiness, for you have always been kind to me. The little mermaid kissed his hand and felt as if her heart was going to break. She knew that she was to die on his wedding morning and turn into foam on the sea. The church bells pealed, heralds rose through the streets and announced the engagement. On all the altars, sweet-smelling oil burnt in costly silver lamps. The priests swung their censers, bride and groom joined hands, and received the bishop's blessing. The little mermaid was dressed in silk and gold, and carried the bride's train, but her ears did not hear the festive music. Her eyes did not see the sacred ceremony. She thought of the night of her death and all that she had lost in this world. The very same evening, the bride and bridegroom went on board the ship. The cannons roared, the flags streamed in the wind, and in the middle of the ship, a beautiful tent of purple and gold was erected for the royal couple. The sails swelled in the wind, and the ship glided gently and lightly through the smooth sea. When it became dark, colored lamps were lit, and the sailors danced merrily on deck. The Little Mermaid could not help thinking of the first time she rose to the surface, when she had witnessed the same splendor and joy. She danced maddeningly, hovering like a swallow when it is pursued. All applauded for her, for she had never danced so well. It was like sharp knives cutting her tender feet, but she did not feel it. Her heart suffered much greater pain. She knew that it was the last evening that she was to be with him for whom she had deserted her relatives from her home, sacrificed her sweet voice, and daily suffered endless pain, while he had not the slightest idea of it. It was the last night that she could breathe the same air with him, and see the deep sea and the starry night. Eternal night, without thought or dream, was waiting for her who had not been able to gain a soul. On board the ship, joy and merriment lasted till long past midnight. She laughed and danced, while her heart was full of thoughts of death. The prince kissed his beautiful bride, and she fondly touched his dark curls, and arm in arm they retired to rest in the magnificent tent. Then all became still on board. Only the man at the wheel remained at his post. The Little Mermaid rested while her white arms on the railing of the ship, and looked toward the east for the morning dawn. The first sunbeam, she knew, would kill her. She saw her sisters rising out of the waves. They were as pale as herself. Their beautiful long hair was no longer fluttering in the wind. It was cut off. "We have given it to the witch, that we might help you, to save you from death tonight. She has given us a knife. Here it is. Look how sharp it is. Before the sun rises, you must thrust it into the prince's heart, and when the warm blood spurts upon your feet, they will grow together again into a fishtail, and you will be a mermaid once more. But you cannot, and then you can come back to us, and live your 300 years before you become dead from sea foam. Hasten. You or he must die before the sun rises. Our grandmother is so grieved. Her white hair has also been cut off by the witch's scissors. Kill the prince and return to us. Hasten. Do you not see the red streak in the sky? In a few minutes the sun will rise, and then you must die." They then heaved a mournful sigh and disappeared in the waves. The Little Mermaid drew back the purple curtain at the door of the tent, and saw the beautiful bride laying with her head on the prince's heart. She bent down and kissed his forehead, and looked up to the sky where daybreak was approaching. And then she looked at the sharp knife, and then again at the prince, who murmured his bride's name in his dreams. Only she was in his thoughts, and the knife trembled in the Little Mermaid's hand. Suddenly she threw it far out to sea, where it fell and the waves looked red, and it seemed as if drops of blood were spurting up out of the water. As she was passing away, she looked out once more at the prince, then threw herself down from the ship into the sea, and felt her body dissolving into foam. The sun rose out of the sea, and his rays fell with gentleness and warmth upon the cold sea foam. The Little Mermaid felt no pain of death. She saw the bright sun, and above her were hovering hundreds of transparent beings. Their language was melodious, but so eternal that no human ear could hear them, and no earthly eye could see them. They were lighter than air, and floated about in it without wings. The Little Mermaid noticed that she had a body like theirs, which rose higher and higher out of the foam. "Where am I coming to?" she asked, and her voice sounded like that of one of the other beings, so ethereal that no earthly music could equal it. "To the daughters of the air," replied the others. "The mermaids have no mortal souls, and can never obtain one unless they gain the love of human beings."
Fast. All you need is your bike and a smartphone. The sign-up process is super quick and easy. Now, you get to choose your own hours and be your own boss. And best of all, you get to keep 100% of your tips. Download the DoorDash driver app today to get started.
Mermaids have no mortal souls, and they can never obtain one unless they gain the love of human beings. Their eternal existence depends on another's power. The daughters of air have no mortal soul either, but they can obtain one for themselves by good actions. We fly to the hot countries where the poisonous vapors kill mankind and bring them cool breezes. We spread the fragrance of the flowers throughout the air and refresh and heal them. When we have striven for 300 years to achieve all that is good that is in our power, we obtain an immortal soul and share the eternal happiness of mankind. You poor little mermaid, you have striven with all your heart for the same object. You have endured and suffered, and now you have risen to the aerial world. And now, after 300 years of good works, you will gain an immortal soul for yourself. The little mermaid raised her eyes up to the sun and felt tears in them for the first time. On the ship, there was life and noise once more. She saw how the prince and his beautiful bride were looking for her. Mournfully, they gazed at the glittering foam, as they knew that she had thrown herself into the waves. Invisibly, she kissed the bride's forehead and caressed the prince. Then she rose with the other children of the air, up to the rosy cloud which sailed through the ether. After 300 years, we float thus into the eternal kingdom of God. But we may get there sooner, whispered one of the daughters of air. Invisibly, we penetrate into the houses of human beings, where they have children, and for every day on which we find a good child that causes its parents joy and deserves their love, God shortens our period of probation. The child does not even know when we fly through the room, but if we smile for joy, one of the 300 years is taken off. If we see a naughty or wicked child, we must shed tears of sorrow, and every tear augments our period of probation by 1 day. And that is the story of the Little Mermaid. I actually finished that a lot quicker than I thought I would. So one thing I was going to do at the end of stream is, well, first off, did people like the story? Well, actually, he did say there was a happy story, but there's a price to pay for it. So it's not kind of like Disney, how it's like, you do have some trials, but you have a happy ending. No, these ones are like, you have to suffer, and you have to go through a lot, and then you'll be rewarded. But I was also going to ask if people would like to pick the next story. I have 5 more stories by Hans Christian Andersen. Yeah. So I'm going to be typing in chat the options for the next ones. So, I'm going to let the chat pick what the next story is going to be. And, I am going to pause Spotify because I am sorry, I'm tired of the ads. So I guess we can go to just chatting. Yes, Coffee, I am borrowing your background. So I know. How many people do we actually have in chat, by the way? Okay. So, out of those 5, what do you guys, we have a vote for Emperor's New Clothes. So, honey, you get a vote too. Yeah, there's a lot of these stories that the only one of these 5 that I've actually heard before is actually The Emperor's New Clothes. Okay, so that's 2. So we need 4 of 6. If we have 6 in the chat, then we need 4 of 6. And if you guys want to, you don't have to type out the title. You can just type out the number. So for number 1 was Emperor's New Clothes. Number 2 was The Rose Elf. Number 3 is The Storks. Number 4 is The Daisy. And number 5 is The Buckwheat. Okay, so that's another one for Emperor's New Clothes. Hello, Staroni. Just need one more vote, and then that'll be the one locked in for next time I stream. Also, does anybody have any suggestions of any games that I should stream? As I will be getting a gaming laptop on Tuesday. So I'm open to suggestions, as long as it doesn't have too many flashing things, because unfortunately I can't do flashing due to seizures, so unfortunately that limits things. What? I have attained the right to be a gamer? What does that mean? I doubled your playtime? What do you mean? I didn't take your character. Oh yeah, I've played more Monster Hunter than you have. Yeah. Okay. I doubled his playtime because I was making a like one of the booklet things that they do of like, oh, this is some of the hard to find stuff and where you can find it. Yeah, I do. But it's because you wanted to push storyline where I was doing every uh every hunt. Yeah, that's been a while. That was on the Xbox. What were the games? Minecraft to the Moon and what else? Monster Hunter Rise. Okay. You still went back, but I went back with you, and every single time you complained about you needed the coral crystal or I went and got it too. So I never ran out of it. Knotted Minecraft? By the way, so we have a good friend in the Calgate Gurus, Musaki, who is going to be starting a Minecraft server. If you guys want to, I can join his too and stream that. I do have a Switch. I don't play it very often because I got bored, but I like playing with people. So Kirby is an option. How do I stream Kirby from the Switch on here? Oh, so it has to be a regular Switch. Can we borrow a roommate's Switch? Smash. Yeah, we'd have to borrow a roommate's Switch for that one, but that'd be a possibility. My favorite one is actually Rainbow Road. If we do, like, say, Mario Kart. But I need one more vote for the story for next time, which I have to wait until tomorrow till I get my schedule for next week to see when I can stream next. Capture card? What's a capture card? That'd be neat. Maybe we can look into that when we're picking up my computer. Do we have to get one for each console? I'll say because our roommate has a PS4, we have a PlayStation. Sorry, our roommate has a PlayStation 4, we have an Xbox One, and I think the other roommate has an Xbox, or not Xbox, a Switch, so, and then we have a PC, so we have a few things that we can play. Which... Which, Coffee and Brawler, if you want to join me in the Discord, you can. What, the PC, Xbox, and PlayStation? Ah, okay. By the way, I'm sitting in the Twitch gaming VC if people want to join me. Let's see if I can drag Star. Okay.
Ah!
Yes, hello.
Where am I?
Look at the title.
Ah!
Yes, we are talking about the book, the story I should read for next time, and since I'm getting my gaming laptop, hey Brawler, I'm getting my gaming laptop on Tuesday, what games should I start to stream? And Brawler kind of made a joke of, yay, you have now, joined the gaming community, and then Coffee told him that I have twice as many hours on Monster Hunter as he does.
Oh, I know. I'm still in your screen.
Oh, I was just making the joke.
I know, it's fun. Which I have I have no idea if the audio from our Discord is going into stream or not.
It is.
Yeah, it is.
It is? Oh, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
I heard it on the coffee stream.
Well, again, I am not technologically savvy, so I'm still learning.
It is okay.
And desktop audio? So, but you can hear Star and Brawler, right?
I mean, I hear me.
Okay, but it's coming through the headphones, not the actual computer. It's audio, so it wouldn't be desktop audio. Oh, sneeze attack coming. Oh, okay, it went away. Okay, I got lucky. Okay. Again, I'm not very good with technology. I'm sorry. That's why I let you do everything. By the way, Star, do you want to pick a story? Because we need one more vote.
You do realize I am Star Oni, right?
No. It's the same thing I didn't know that Brawler was Mr. Brawl. Shush you. Do I hear laughing from downstairs? Do I seriously hear laughing from downstairs?
Oh no!
Wait, I thought
Coffee! Why, no.
I thought my name gave it away.
I hear Coffee losing it downstairs.
Okay. Alright. Let me get the tears out.
Yes, get the tears out. So who's else in the chat? So, Coffee, Star, Brawl. There's 3 more people, so other than me. Because I'm Raina Coffee. I'm actually in my own chat.
There's 6 of them, and it looks like there's one called
We have
Bing Cortana. Oh, Bing Cortana.
Oro! Hi! Oro!
Another one is Delotech.
Oro joined the stream.
And then we have Lurk. Is this not updating?
Chat paused due to scroll.
Let me see. Is she in the stream? I don't see her on the stream.
I see her.
Okay, so how does my chat update? Dang it! I have to scroll.
It's not updating like the users though.
Update. Wait.
Oh,
Broadcast.
okay, that's why. Yeah, it doesn't show.
I pushed a button I wasn't supposed to push. Oro joined us in the stream. Yeah, I finished it a lot quicker than I thought I would. The Little Mermaid in the collection of Hans Christian Andersen is a lot shorter than the one that I have as the standalone. That one actually goes into more detail, and that one is I think I have to put like a PG-13 rating on it for that one.
Not the PG-13.
Yeah, for
Look, as long as it's not rated R, we're good.
it's not rated R.
Oh, it is?
In that case, I'm not saying anything more.
Oro, vote on the next story. Don't get me in trouble on my debut.
Look at Star.
Hey, I'm just minding my own business here.
What did you say?
Okay, so let's see.
Oh no.
What?
My urge to destroy is coming out again. I'm hungry.
Oh, jeez.
Bro, you already know what happens when I get hungry.
You get hangry?
Kind of. I mean, y'all have heard when once I'm getting hungry, I somehow threaten to take over the world.
I actually the
Oro, I
dude from
don't
Snickers.
have the I don't have the fanfic. I do have the original 7 books though. Like I actually on the Discord that I do actually have a section for people to go through the books, but at the moment I'm going through.
Read the fanfic.
Oro, I listed the choices right now.
Hang on.
And I have to have a physical copy. It can't be a digital.
Raina, quick question.
I didn't do it.
Oh my god, I didn't know.
It's
I
about
didn't.
one of the-
I did not know.
Emperor's New Clothes.
Yeah.
Is that supposed to be a rendition of Emperor's New Groove or the first story?
I don't think so.
Oh, because you wrote down
Hey,
Emperor's New Groove.
look at.
And
Wait,
I
I
got
did.
kind of like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, because people were talking to me and I got distracted. It's Emperor's New Clothes, not Groove. I don't have a physical copy of that. I that was a mistype. I'm sorry.
I don't know why, but I'm laughing at the fact that Oro put fanfic. Yes, let us do that. Let us read fanfic. Let us be cringe.
I am actually not sure if I should read what Oro picks for fanfic out loud.
Oro.
I'll take it to
You
read
must
personally, but out loud, maybe not.
What if I just skim it over for you and then I can tell you if it's safe or not?
Why doesn't she just give it to me so I can read it for myself and enjoy it myself? Then I can decide myself if I can read it out loud.
Nah.
Oh yeah, you want to read it for yourself, huh?
No, not really. No, I'm not gonna put myself out there. No, I'm not going to. I know. I see what you're doing, Raina. No, I'm not doing it. I'm not saying what I read.
Not on Twitch.
No.
A lot of the stuff that I read is romance, supernatural stuff.
We were about to catch Star in 4K.
I embraced my inner Mexican and ran away.
Speaking of, we had tacos and Mexican rice tonight. It was good.
Lucky you. I was forced to sing in front of people.
And
You had to sing.
it was even better because you have me, Coffee, and one of the roommates are white, and our Hispanic roommate made it, so it tasted so good.
No. Here's the funny part. My work was going to force me to sing Mexican songs just because I'm Mexican.
Sing Feliz Navidad.
No. Here's the funny part.
Dang.
My friend, one of my friends who heard about this, he managed to hack the laptop they were using, and he changed
Don't call
all
me
of the
out
songs.
like that, Coffee.
What did Coffee do?
He just
damn
called
Pfizer,
me up.
which is it?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, that really doesn't surprise me.
Hey,
Hey, I'm not saying that it's bad. I'm just saying that I'm not surprised.
shush you.
What?
How do I do the different facial expressions, Coffee?
Yes, Oro, there is a romance tragedy. It's called Romeo and Juliet. Oh, God, I did. Why did I say that?
Yeah.
It took me all of 5 seconds to realize what I said.
Yeah,
God dang it.
You don't gotta call me out like that. I remember I messed with Brawler with this face. Remember that?
Jeez.
Yeah. Remember when we were practicing with my character and you choked on a chicken wing?
You want to talk about this in Twitch now?
Yeah, why not? I'm kidding. We don't have to.
Damn it! I already had the clip button ready.
Mother?
By the way, Oro, how much are you going to do everything but vote for a story for next week? Yes, I'm calling you out.
Make me feel something.
Oh, I can make you feel something. You ain't gonna like how it's gonna feel, but I can make you feel something.
Oh, shoot.
Hang on, let me go get the camera.
That's not what you called me yesterday, Oro.
Oh my God. Oh, Auntie Raina.
Oh my!
Was it? Nah, she called me mommy. Yeah, she called me mommy.
Oh my God, this is so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
God, I just realized how much chaos we're gonna be in next
The
week.
rain
By
outside. has
the
been
way,
slowly
Oro,
fading.
are you gonna vote for the story? So I guess I'm not reading anything then.
She said, ooh.
Sadness. I'm not gonna read anymore. Guess this was my only time.
There.
No,
Just read Emperor's New Clothes.
I need the vote to go through fair and square.
There, she said it.
Are you only saying it because I was pretty much harassing you to do it?
Or mommy's new clothes.
Yeah, we. Okay. Do you want me to change it that when I'm reading it, I put mommy instead of emperor?
Or
Oh my
mommy
God.
no clothes.
Actually, yeah, that's the plot. If anybody knows the story, they already know what's gonna come.
Oh, am I missing something?
Hang on, we gotta go find a squirt bottle for Oro.
Have
Oh,
you
the
ever
court
heard of the Emperor's New Clothes before?
No, I've heard the Emperor's New
Nope.
Groove, but not the Emperor's New Clothes.
Okay,
Yep.
Oro knows it. So does Coffee, and I know it too. So, Oro was literally hinting at the plot.
Ah, so basically, smut.
No, actually not.
Seriously?
Yes, very much so. It is not smut. At all. There is no sexual innuendo. There's no sexual stuff about it either.
Huh.
I mean, if you want to look it up, go ahead.
What the heck, Oro? I'm not buzzed enough to enhance my chaos.
I want a mojito or a margarita, but I'm not allowed to have it.
My parents. Can I even say that? I don't think I can.
I'm not allowed to have alcohol.
Coffee, what the heck?
I was drinking like sake yesterday.
Coffee's
you
actually not wrong. Coffee's not wrong. The only way it gets sexual is if we actually make it that way. And
Oro said I always make it sexual.
Oro. I'm reading classic novels. They can get bad enough that if people take it out of context, I can get banned. Let's not go there. We're not adding extra stuff. They are stories of their times that talk about some really bad stuff. Yeah, coffee's not wrong. It's PG at best.
Unless you want to stream on YouTube as well.
Oh, that's okay. I'm good. No, seriously, I'm okay. I don't need to go through the hoops and stuff that some of the other... More power to the other streamers, but like Matt, Pat, and them have talked about some of the stuff that they have to go through. I'm good. That's good.
I mean, I was just saying another joke, but okay.
But Mommy,
Yes, little one?
sorry.
What do you want, dear? How can I help
Wait,
you?
what? Wait, what?
What are you sorry about?
No, I was reading what Oro said.
Yeah, I know. She said sorry. What is she sorry about?
Oh my god.
Oh my god, she got the look. She got the look. Oh my god.
I'm
Yes, I
not.
do.
I'm not tired enough for this.
Is it because I'm focusing on you now? Oh. Oh, by the way,
Wait.
we were also talking about possibly doing like some ASMR stuff because I can't do the I'm alive thing for Cortana, but I can do I wish you were gone.
And I think Oro just went to bed. I'm sleeping. Good night, Oro.
It's mainly because the what is it? The vocal range for the first Portal, the song from the first Portal game is too high for me, but the second game one I actually can do. I don't struggle with as much because unfortunately I have a habit of trying to match my voice with the person singing it.
Also, Oro said you ain't about to catch her in 4K.
Which expression, my dear? Is it because you can act... Okay. Oh, he'll handle it later. Trust me.
That face. Please, not that face.
You know, at times like this, I really wish I would drink myself to sleep.
Well, you
Or I'm handling it later tonight for sure.
Oh,
Oh my god.
yeah.
Oh my god. Somebody please come and knock me out.
But until we actually subscribe to Spotify, I'm not using it again because I don't want the ads. It's enough that it gets me out of the groove of reading. I can only imagine what happens with you guys when you hear the ad join on. Just start. That's why when the ad started, I just kind of stopped and just kind of looked up and just like waited for it to stop.
Well, you could always do like lo-fi on YouTube.
Actually, I can't without getting copyright struck. Specifically because I'd like to use Lo-Fi Girl. I might be able to use that for Fat Rat, who is actually no copyright. And if someone tries to copyright strike it, I just contact Fat Rat, and then he's going to say, hey, let them do it because I did not copyright it on purpose. Because specifically at the top right, it actually says the song, the information and stuff. So we actually credit the people that we use. But yeah, until we actually subscribe to Spotify, I'd rather not use it. So we've got me, Coffee, Oro, Brawler, Star. Who else is in the chat?
What up?
Because
Those three other ones that I told you that we said: Bean, Cortana, Delotex, and Lurks.
weren't they here last night too?
I'm not sure.
I think so. Welcome back. They sound familiar. He can listen in if he wants to. He doesn't have to. How do I see the people that actually are in it?
This is entire. Oh no, I can't. I can't. So, shoot, where is it? How does yours?
You could go into moderator status, share your screen, and I could watch your screen.
The problem is wait. Let me see.
Wait, are you a mod?
Yes, he should be. If he's not, I'll make him one.
Damn.
Hey, he's a mod in our server. Why not now? Let's see.
No. I didn't mean it like that.
What's
Yeah, no, because I can't screen share, or I can't screen share video or anything here in the Twitch gaming corner.
Give me a moment. What's your? Just say hi in the channel for me, Star.
Give me a second.
No.
Wait,
In the chat. The stream chat.
the Twitch.
Yes. Because I should have figured it was you, 619.
I literally told you earlier.
You know what? Knew it was Star because it was like Star only, but I forgot about the numbers. 619. Blink.
I literally. Oh my god. I do not make it.
I knew it was you. I just realized about the numbers.
Yes.
Try to share your screen again.
How do I do that? Because I cannot see anything here. Let me see. I literally can't see anything that lets me share screen here.
61619.
You mean the normal share screen button down at the bottom? Or you're on your phone?
Give me a second. Okay, let me see. Channel predictions.
Because you should. There's a button in the top right of the chat window that looks like two people.
Let's see.
What is that for? Hide member lists. I don't want to hide the member list, but... Oh, hold on. Oh, I'm dumb. Wow. Mr. Pringle! Hi, Mr. Pringle! How's it going?
If you have Twitch on a second screen underneath your profile icon, there's two guys.
It's actually at the top right. It's right next to stream chat. Because it shows the broadcaster, the moderators, and the users. So I've got Bing Cortana, DeloTX, which is either Delot X or Delo Texas, Lurks, and Mr. Pringle 24. If I mess up your name, please let me know.
Took a nap, I'm good.
Oh, yay! So, Achievement unlocked. Had someone fall asleep. Yay. Unless you were just tired and that wasn't even me.
Yeah, it's literally right there in the second icon, but I don't know how to share screen here on this. Can't even do it on Discord either.
Okay. Well, thank
Yeah,
you
because
for
I'm.
showing up. I appreciate it.
Oh, what the hell! I could just use my phone, show you, and send you a picture.
You could, but I figured it out. Because Pringle actually said how to do it.
Yeah, that's why I was gonna tell you that I was gonna try to show you.
Star, you cut out.
Who cut out? Star?
What happened? I think cut out.
The only
It
reason
seemed like
I literally just stopped talking.
the only reason that I'm not cutting out is because I'm actually at the desktop using the snowball.
Oh, you got the snowball mic.
Yes, and we're going to be testing it with the new laptop once I get it. Because it's actually a gaming one that has its own dedicated graphics card, which means, yay, I can play more graphics heavy games.
Yeah, I think you're probably gonna get the same laptop as me. The only problem is like with its the sound system on it, the speakers, it don't really work that well.
Oh, I know you've been streaming a while, Pringle, which is one of the reasons why thank you very much. I appreciate everything that you do to help. Because I have not, so...
I got all these channel actions. It makes me feel all powerful.
Oh, do
yes,
it.
it does. And if somebody comes in saying, hey, if you go to this thing, you'll get this percentage off or whatever, immediately ban them.
I got you.
Because that's a bot, that's not an actual person.
I just got to unlock my Inner Spider-Man. With great power comes great responsibility.
Yes, it does, because Moo made me a moderator of the Chaldea Gurus when he was streaming during the Unsubathon, because I kept paying attention to things. He's like, okay, mod. I'm like, what do I do? So, yeah, what do I do? And what did I do? He's like, you're paying attention and being good. Oh, okay. So
did you type people because they asked for it too? Did I say something wrong?
No, I was reading chat and that's I have no idea what that means.
I'm sorry. I just thought I said something wrong and you like, why did he say something?
No, I'm just because I'm thinking of how to update the title and title go live notification.
True, I think mods can do the same thing too.
Yeah, you can. I've actually done it for Moo. I just forget how to do it because I don't do it often. But I actually banned a bot on Moo's stream because we had was it Chad Tallman and a few people were like, ban me, I want to be your first ban. No, I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want to get in trouble. No. Left side. I see it. Title and go live notification. That's the stuff that's categories just chatting. But those are the scenes. Those are the. Because I'm used to the seeing the actual from the Twitch side and like from my phone and the computer and the moderator part.
I'll be right back. I'll be right back.
Okay. That's a coffee question. Stream elements set up. Well, we have the controls, the scene transitions. It's like we have intro games is the one when we're actually playing games or I'm reading. Just chatting is the one we've got right now. And then the end of stream. Am I going to have to unmute Spotify for that or does it automatically play the song, hun? Oh, that's cool. Thank you for following.
We got a follower.
Yes, that was a ding. I guess it's a big notification then, huh? But so Pringle, do you have any games that you'd like to see me play, or like me to play with you? Well, honey, you weren't answering him, so he figured it out on his own. So the next story is going to be The Emperor's New Clothes. And this is true. How's Phasmophobia going for you? Because I know I can't play that or watch it being played. No, I actually have anxiety attacks.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
No, because I was actually, he was streaming at one point and I was trying to help him out because I was catching a few things so he could focus on the main stuff. I started getting anxiety attack and I'm so sorry. I gotta jump out. I can understand that because you also get a lot of funny stuff, like say when Markiplier was playing with his friends and him being stuck on the inside while the rest of them were in the truck and they just get to the door and just hear him scream as the door's locked. It's like, oh, he just died. Excuse me.
You are okay.
But yeah, I have no idea what to talk about now because I finished a lot quicker than I thought I would.
Well, let's just say stuff that pops into our minds all of a sudden.
I forgot you played it in VR. Yeah, that would absolutely be terrifying in VR.
Phasmophobia. Ooh,
Yes,
ooh.
Mr. Pringle's actually a fellow VTuber. We actually know him in real life. He's actually a really cool person.
Phasmophobia VR. That's like a stuff of nightmare. Ooh.
Yeah, because he said like the hands and stuff are literally in your eyes instead of just on the screen. Oh, that gives me little shivers there.
Oh yeah. Well, how about you tell us a little bit about yourself?
There's not much to say. I am technologically inept. I am Coffee's wife. Don't have much skills other than apparently I have a good voice for reading and ASMR.
Okay, I'm back.
So
Welcome back.
at least that's what I'm told. And Shuk just responded because I put in the Discord, it's like, hey, so Twitch stream chat shows Emperor's New Clothes, and Shuk's like, I've read a few chapters of that one. Most of us actually read it in school. Ow, the headset's hurting my head. I could say what got me into stream. My husband. Yeah, that's about it. I'm not exactly very interesting. You could say I'm just kind of piggybacking off of him. And
So
I enable him a lot with games.
Well, what kind of fae are you?
Winter Court, masquerading as summer.
Ooh.
Yeah, because I look like all just like the greens and I look like summer, but no, I'm winter court.
And I'm just an Oni.
Well, or my husband actually has the colors of the winter fae, but yeah.
So why would you pretend to be a summer then?
Oh, I have a family in the summer, so if I pretend to be summer, I can go visit them.
Hmm. Now we weren't winter court side.
She. That's pronounced she.
She.
And it's Sidhe, sweetie.
Blip.
Yeah, but oh, excuse me. Sorry.
Heavy.
Yeah, Pringles. Like, idiot on Twitter.
What's a
Then you
Twitter
like,
set? Because I'm learning as I go. Oh, I have a personal one. I just I usually use that when I go into other people's streams, which I don't have you followed, which I probably should. Well, we have individual ones as well in case we would just want to sneak into people's stuff by ourselves
you sneaking?
sometimes. I mean, I'm not a moderator as Cafe d'Arcadia for the Chaldea Gurus on like his Twitch. I am a moderator as Raina Coffee.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, this is just cheese.
Cheese.
Oops, wrong one. I am now following you, Mr. Pringle. Risk of bullets and rage. But yeah, if I had known, I didn't know what your Twitter name was, otherwise I would have followed you earlier. It's okay. It happens. So, what should be the first game that I play?
What
Okay.
game you feel like?
I was about to say, what games do you have technically that you can play?
That I actually own? Not a lot. That's only bread and butter because it's simple. It doesn't have a lot of flashing images, and I can literally do what I want because I bought my own land. Because claim blocks.
Well, there's not a lot of things that I can think of.
Because what was suggested so far was Minecraft, modded Minecraft, To the Moon, Monster Hunter Rise, Kirby, and Smash.
If you do modded Minecraft, it's gonna be. What would you set up
I was
for
thinking
modded
of,
Minecraft?
honestly, I was thinking of when Moo sets up his stream, possibly joining it. And then I could stream while he does it.
Don't cross the streams. Don't cross the streams. Now,
That or I could try to raid his stream. Like, have just a short stream of mine and then raid. Which probably wouldn't do much, because I don't... He would have more people than I would.
Yeah.
And it would be the same people that already look at his stream, probably, too.
Yeah, unfortunately, the games that I would probably recommend not good because a lot of them are flashy.
Yeah, but they're so pretty.
Raina, I don't want to trigger you.
Yeah, I know. Like Final Fantasy XIV, which I can't get past the loading screen. I've tried. What is it? The any
Actually,
of
not
the Fate Grand Order, but the Noble Phantasms would mess me up.
What about Fire Emblem?
I don't know.
They do got a couple of flashiness, so I wouldn't recommend it.
Oh.
Oh, he only needs 16 more followers. You guys should go follow Mr. Pringle then.
Damn, all the games that I could recommend, I can't. Damn it.
So yeah, Star and Mr. Brawler, you want to go follow Mr. Pringle too? Because we're trying to get affiliate also. Have you...
There you go.
Thank you, Mr. Brawler.
There, follow them.
Thank you, Star.
Mhm.
I...
I'm literally trying to think games that I could recommend you, but damn it, a lot of them are too flashy.
Oh, sorry, I think I followed you as...
No, that definitely has a lot of flashiness. No.
You are interesting listening to while you are streaming. I'm not even gonna lie. Let's see, how do I follow as Cafe D'Arcadia? How do I do that from here, sweetie?
You can't do it from the OBS screen.
Well, not OBS, but how do I do from Twitch and stuff? Because I've seen people...
You can open up Twitch on Chrome.
Huh?
I just realized.
Open Twitch on Chrome. So...
I just realized you can play Among Us.
You said don't...
Not Among Us.
Yes, Among Us.
What about Pokemon?
No.
Goose Goose Duck.
Man, a lot of the good RPGs that I could recommend you also have too many flashy special attacks.
I know, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, I can't find anything good for you.
Can I log out of Twitch on here, or is it gonna log me out entirely? Wait, no, I'm logged in here on Twitch already, so now I just gotta find him. Search. Mr. Pringle 24. Follow. There we go. So I just followed you.
Oh.
Go close that
So
out.
follow is strong with this one.
Well, I like helping friends out. Yeah, not a problem.
Alright, I can't find no games on the Switch right now. I'm checking Steam.
I've been checking. I have been checking Steam, and
Oh.
unfortunately,
Do you want to know some that I like playing?
what?
Tetris. I get in trouble for that though. But also...
Are you getting in trouble for Tetris?
I played for about 6 hours straight and then had a seizure right afterwards. But my
Why-
last game of it, I cleared 408 blocks in 20 minutes.
What about the Masquerade?
I've actually never played that one.
Wait, you have it?
I don't. But I mean, we probably could get it. But I also like, probably could do Yoshi's Island. Because, was it, we have to get the emulator on, Pumpkin's,
Wouldn't be hard.
Pumpkin Switch.
Wouldn't that be hard?
Yeah, so we just got to get the emulator and Valheim. What is Valheim?
Valheim?
Yes.
Be careful with the word
It's like a more
emulator,
realistic version
because
of Minecraft,
Nintendo will be on that real
also
quick.
Nordic themed.
What are you talking about? I have the emulator on my Switch Lite.
She's talking about like the emulators that are officially licensed by
Yes.
by Nintendo.
Yes, the emulator that's licensed by Nintendo on a Nintendo machine.
Okay.
Which means I have like a lot of the NSCS or SNES games.
Oh, what about Phoenix Wright?
No. They do have some flashiness, especially when they do the objection thing.
No, that doesn't count.
No? That won't?
Mm-mm. It's just
Oh.
the phrase pops up is still for a few seconds and then ends. It's not like it's strobing. It's usually it's usually the strobes I have to be careful of, or like the dancing lights and stuff. Kind of like the opening to Final Fantasy XIV when you're loading it up.
I'm looking at the screen. I'm looking at the gameplay of Vampire: The Masquerade Bloodline. It looks more dark than any flashiness.
Oh, it is incredibly dark. I have seen some of the playthroughs. And I've actually played the tabletop game.
Oh no, I'm just saying that if you want, you can always buy that game and stream that one too.
Oh, I know. I just don't particularly want to show how inept a character I am.
What happened?
I don't want to show how inept a character I am because I get away with some things when I probably really shouldn't. What is the test?
Does Walking Dead have it on Steam? Like, Walking Dead could be a good one.
Nah, it's okay.
None of the.
I'm not big into zombies.
Yeah, and plus The Walking Dead are kind of the games that are on Steam. Meh, kind of bad.
I'm not that big into zombies or first-person shooters.
No, I was talking about the Telltale versions.
I wasn't really looking into, like, say, the Resident Evil games or The Walking Dead.
Why not stream Yu-Gi-Oh?
That is a good idea. Oh.
Let's see. Yeah, if nothing else, you can also do us as well.
Oh, actually, Shiki and Tristan are going to be teaching me Pokemon, or not Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh.
Oh my god, they got another one.
What is it? Edo something?
Medio Pro.
Which one?
Edo Tensei?
Edo
Bro,
Pro?
this isn't This isn't Naruto, bro.
Is it? I think it's Edo Pro. And what is the asterisk for? Were you just trying to say fuck? Here you go. No, it just shows asterisks.
Ooh.
Should I not be saying that actually out loud? Oh, you can private send it.
Oh, this game might actually look pretty good to play later. Huh. Offer ends on May the 9th. Okay. I'm going to add that to my queue.
Dang, you already adding stuff already?
It's other side.
Oh man, I made this thing.
Oh, they got
supposed
Trick
to
of
last
Yomi?
till 1 a.m.
I thought that was only a PlayStation game.
What?
Trek to Yomi.
So what are considered the bad curses? So
what?
So as long as I don't say the bad curses, what constitutes as the bad ones?
Yeah.
Oh, those.
I guess.
Those. Okay. So hate
What?
speech. Was it hate speech, racial slurs, or no?
Kind of the
Okay. So just
uh,
make sure not. Okay, those are no goes. Don't touch. Okay. By the way, if someone from Twitch is watching, I'm not asking this so I can say it. I'm asking so I don't say it.
What do you mean, someone from Twitch?
I don't know. You never know. They could be watching. Someone's always watching.
Technically speaking, they wouldn't be watching. Their bot would be watching, if anything else.
Which means
And the
by
bot-
technicality, they are watching since it is their bot.
yeah, but the bot.
No, bro, don't argue. Don't argue. She's
Yeah.
going to defeat. She's going to defeat it with logic or something like that.
I'm just gonna be quiet.
You want to continue?
Nope.
Brawler, you want to continue?
Don't do it. Don't do it, bro.
I plead the fifth.
I'm
She
looking at
making a
you.
face.
Yeah.
How could? God dang it!
Don't do it, bro. Don't fall
I'm
for the
listening.
trick.
Come on, Brawler. I'm listening.
Don't go into the spider web.
Enter my web.
Don't do it, bro.
Let's try not to laugh contest, huh?
Oh, that would be neat, but I'd have to find videos that I'm not going to get copyright struck for, and that's going to be incredibly difficult.
Mm.
Streamer mode. How do you do that?
I'll show you how to do that later.
Because I got to do streamer mode on Discord.
Go to
Streamer.
Settings. Streamer mode?
You won't get alerts. Just understand that.
Yes. What do you mean I won't get alerts?
You won't get the little to-do.
So, enable streamer mode? That's all I have to do?
Mm-hmm.
That's literally all I have to do?
Yep.
Okay. So... And what, do I just stream my screen, or what do I do?
What do you mean?
Sometimes it's automatic, but it's finicky.
What are you trying to do, honey?
I don't know. Sometimes if you click in the...
Do you see the purple bar up top?
purple bar.
Oh yes,
Streamer
I'm
mode is
definitely
enabled. Stay safe, friend.
That way your notifications won't come on screen.
Mecha games. I'm queuing this one. I'm adding this to the wish list, and this
What are you
one.
trying to do
This,
right
and I do this.
Yeah, everything, aren't you?
So
Bro, if you saw a bunch of mecha games, wouldn't you want to add them to your wish list? Especially if they look good.
What are you trying to do?
Hey,
That's
look!
the thing. They may look good.
Echo.
Do they play good though?
I can hear
That's
myself.
what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Look, the best way to catch my attention is usually just with mecha games,
Tacos.
and as long as they can
Burritos.
deliver. Raina, you're not gonna get me with Mexican food.
I just did.
No, you're not.
Did you stop talking about other stuff
No.
and talk to me?
No, I'm on pause right now. I'm going right back.
I know, but I got
I'm
your
just
attention.
letting you know.
But you said to get your attention. I did. You started talking to me.
Uh-oh.
Hi.
Hello.
I am not entertaining this conversation. Moving on. Let's see.
Well, we
Just
have
wait.
an events, Pringle. We have a thing in events that says, okay, it's multiplayer game. It'll hide your Discord notifications. That's neat. Where is it? Because I've got I've been putting as events, and we're gonna be streaming and then putting the link to the Twitch.
Ah, yes. Akiba strip.
Say what?
It is a very flashy, very etchy, very anime-ish game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure Twitch will strike down anybody who plays that game.
Oh, Star.
Unless they have a seizure warning or epilepsy warning, probably.
No. It's straight up. I can tell you right now. It's got a lot of. It's really flashy.
So why would you get
It's
a
like
strike for that?
because of the fact that it's all about stripping the characters.
So that is.
So essentially, the whole way the game is that you're fighting against vampires that they can be out in the sun and all that, but the second you remove their clothing, they burn up.
Star.
I wish I was making this up. That is literally the premise of the game. The premise of the game is literally you are fighting other vampires and stripping them.
Yes,
I
it's
wish.
not a game.
Like I said, I wish I was making this up.
And you added to your wish list?
Bro, I have that on my Vita. I mean, it's not complete nudity, like, obviously.
Honey. So Pringle sent me a list. The game, the test is $1.99. Says this game is, as well as many others in their bundle, is fantastic for YouTubers and streamers to create content, engage with their audience, and allow their audience to better get to know them through answering a series of questions about the content creator. This creates a unique experience for all parties involved and players playing the game themselves. So we should probably play that game and like do it like stream together or something like that. Yes, I thank you for the link. I was just looking at it.
I'll take a look at it.
But
We'll try it out, okay?
huh?
We'll try it out.
Okay. Yeah, we'll probably try that out maybe for our next stream, so that way the audience can get to know us. I honestly have no idea how this thing's gonna work. Oh, it's loud. Is it coming across for you guys?
We don't hear nothing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Valkyrie Drive? What the heck is this? Oh, please don't tell me this is supposed to be another Senran Kagura version game.
I unfortunately cannot watch the I cannot finish the trailer because of the music. Yeah.
The bass. Or the bass.
Yes, the bass.
Oof.
There are hidden messages in it, so just gotta keep an eye out for it, and Twitch can hear it. Can hear what? When we stream it, or what, they heard it right now when I played it?
I'm not hearing anything. Hold on
The
a second.
trailer.
So when I was playing the trailer, you guys could hear it.
I did not hear anything.
Pringle did, apparently.
It was probably on Twitch because right now I just had the volume muted.
Well, the thing is, if you want to, I'm actually streaming the thing, so you can just go to the... Since you guys are in the two of you are actually in the voice chat with me, you can just click on, since the where I'm streaming live, and just click on that so you can get, instead of waiting for the stream.
Nah.
Okay.
Dang, Star.
OBS catches all sound that streams on
What?
Twitch.
What did I do?
That wasn't supposed to be streaming on Twitch, though.
What wasn't supposed to be?
When I was watching the...
Were you watching the trailer on the computer?
Yes.
Then it was catching the audio.
So anything I watch on the computer, the audio is caught.
Yes,
Got
because
it.
it catches the desktop.
Okay. So I can't watch anything that I don't want to be heard. Got it. Anyway, I'm probably going to start setting up to, I could just tricky. What does that mean? Yeah, that's true. But, I'm probably going to start, ending the stream because I've run out of stuff to talk about. So, thank everyone for joining, and for those of you that are here listening, thank you very much. Thank you for all those who joined afterwards. And thank you for voting on the next one. The next time that I read will be The Emperor's New Clothes. Probably see if Coffee and I can do the test, and that way they can get to know us a little bit better. And then hopefully I can start streaming some games as well, so that way I'm not only stories, and I can actually stream a little bit earlier in the day for some people. So did I click on this then?
So say goodbye.
This one. So I'm going to sign off and